Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to Sin's Workshop. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So today we are going to be reviewing Lady or the Tiger. This is a young adult western that follows Belle King, who goes by the alias the Seamstress when she's, unaliving people. She's very much an anti-hero. But that's what I loved about the story. And before I continue, huge thank you to the publisher for sending me an arc of this book. I am not normally one who reads westerns. It's not really like my shtick, it's not the genre that I go for. I don't know why, it just doesn't appeal to me, but that's not to say I'm not open to it. Just like with romance books, I am open to it, especially if I'm sent something like, hey, here's a free book to read and review. I'm like, yeah, I'll read and review it. So I really absolutely loved this book, to be perfectly honest. I thought it was such an interesting novel, especially because you are following this anti-heroine, and the story begins with her talking to the reader. So she does occasionally break the fourth wall and does address the reader. And she's like, you're not going to like me by the end of the story. But just so you know, this is a love story. And by the end of it, you're going to hate me. And I'm just like, okay, I am intrigued now. Why am I going to hate you? And I don't hate her, actually. I think she's a very complex character. But I think that's such good writing to make such a complex character, especially with such tragic origins. I mean, she, as a child, her mom was considered like a witch because she would, dabble in herbs, and she would do the thing, you're not supposed to do, like abortions. She would give people, women specifically, medicinal herbs that would, end pregnancies early and abort them, right? So one day, her mother does it for like the pastor's daughter, and it's alluded just because the baby is so deformed and the way the pastor is acting, it is alluded that he was molesting his daughter and the baby is his, right? So he is both grandfather and father. That's the allusion that's going on there. Like, that's the sense I got from it. And to defend her mother, she shoots him, but not before the police, the marshal of the town comes and accidentally kills her mother. And what happens now? Well, orphan girl, she is sent to an asylum. And I think we all know enough history to know what happens to women in these asylums. So the story does go back and forth. It is a dual POV, and those are her tragic origins. But as the present is progressing at a very linear moment, every time we're going back into the past, it's not always linear. And I think it works because memory is not linear. Different events will trigger different memories, even if those flashbacks and memories are connected together in a streamline, right? But it worked. It flowed. I wasn't confused. It wasn't jarring. I was able to stay addicted to the story that we are learning. We're learning her story. We're learning how she got to be in the position she's in right now. We're learning her relationship with Reginald, A, the marshal who shot her mom, and B, who manipulated her into marrying him to escape the asylum, only to trap her in an physically, emotionally, and mentally abusive relationship. I mean, he is a horrible person. The fact that she says, I'll even let you use the candle on me tonight. And it's just like, that line stuck with me because it just is impactful, and it really does. She doesn't go into detail of the abuse, the author. She gives you these one-liners that are impactful because exactly the kind of abuse that she's facing with this man. And so when she does find love and, she runs away and things happen, I'm trying not to spoil too much for you because I want you to really lose yourself in the story when you read it. But the way the storytelling just kind of progresses and that rising tension and that pacing and going back and forth between past and present, it works. You know, it really does give you a clear indication of who Belle King is as a character and why she is an anti-hero and her motivation for the things that she does. I mean, once you're introduced to her, she's in the town, she strips naked, and then she screams, and then she announces, "I'm the seamstress." And you're just like, first, the shocker of her addressing the reader, like, I'm already hooked. And now this, and you're just like, I am further hooked. So as the story continued to progress, I just kept getting more and more sucked into the story because it was so executed. It was so well written. It was jaw-dropping. It had plot twists I didn't see coming. It was absolutely captivating from beginning to end. And I can't stress that enough. It was so great of a book. And the ending, it's one of those, it's just like, again, the book is titled Lady or the Tiger. And if you're familiar with that story, this novel ends similarly to that story. And then again, it ends with her addressing the reader. And you're just like, you as the reader get to decide the ending. And I think that that's so clever and so well written. And it's just like, it's like Schrodinger's cat. It's such a good book. Absolutely loved it. So, hands down, excellent book. Highly recommend it. Once again, another huge thank you to the publisher for sending me an arc of the book. In any case, thank you all for tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with all your book loving friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.